Hey everybody, Gunnison on the cover. Today is Saturday, July 6, 2019, and the sun is going down. And this will be my final video for today. What's the time? Time is 8:09, and in the background is where I used to run around the track. I put so many miles behind running around this track back in my earlier years. I've put over several hundred miles running around that track. That's amazing. At one time I was able to do about 14 times around that track, which works out to about 3.5 miles. At this point I'd be lucky if I could make one lap around that thing. But it looks like they're doing some work. What I think they're doing out here, they ripped up the old foam track and they took up all the grass. This is actually the football field. They put all the stuff down. I think what they're doing is they're putting stone down. It's for drainage purposes, and I think at some point they'll put sod on top of that, because this football field has had a problem with water drainage over it. So our taxpayer dollars here in Tinton Falls is going to fix this field so some people can come watch football. It's a lot of money for a football game, isn't it? So I got a Blue Zero Hero story for you, and this one's reported in NJ.com, and let me just put it right up there. Let me bring it up. Here it is. You see that? Read that. What's that say? Well, it doesn't matter. I'll do the face screenshot on NJ.com, and this is dated July 3rd, 2019. It says it's a 1-minute read. And it says, sheriff's officer arrested on DWI charge in Hudson County, authorities say. Now, Hudson County is way up north in New Jersey. I think that's the far northeast county, up that way. It says, Secaucus police arrested an off-duty Bergen County sheriff's officer on a drunken driving charge last month. The arrest occurred just days after the officer sued South Hackensack over injuries he suffered when he was hit by a fire truck after drinking alcohol with firefighters there. Imagine that. He gets drunk and gets hit by a fire truck, and it's the town's fault. You gotta love these lawyers, don't you? Brian J. Smith, 24, was arrested shortly before midnight, June 20th, when Secaucus police responded to a report of a suspicious man in a vehicle in the 300 block of Pauland Terrace, authorities said. During the investigation, the police arrested Smith. According to a police report, Secaucus Police Captain Dennis Miller said Friday Smith is a sheriff's officer in the Bergen County. He was charged with DWI, Miller said. Smith was also issued 3 additional motor vehicle summonses and was subsequently released into custody with a responsible adult. Who was that? His mommy? The police report said. Other charges are refusing to take a breath alcohol test, having an open container car, and reckless driving. NorthJersey.com report. Now, here in New Jersey, if they suspect you of drunk driving or under the influence while operating a vehicle, you are required to take a breathalyzer test. That is different from a sobriety test. Sobriety test is when you got to do this and, you know, hopscotch and recite the ABCs and all that stuff. That you can refuse. But if they take it to the point where you got to do a breathalyzer, you got to do it. If you don't, that's an automatic lose your license. Derek Sands, spokesman for the sheriff's office, did not immediately return a call seeking comment. Of course not. Sands on Tuesday told NorthJersey.com that Smith was administratively reassigned pending further investigation. Why is he not fired or suspended? This would be a case he needs to be suspended. You got an officer out driving around. I mean, they have these programs, don't drink and drive sober or get pulled over. But yet, when they're out doing it, they don't get fired. They don't lose a job. And it's like, your job is to go out and drive around and look for these things. And here you are out there doing it. This is how they protect one another. Smith lawyer Neil S. Weiner claims in a lawsuit that Smith served the township and the fire department, but he was sued because they refused to settle. Smith cannot be reached for comment. It's unclear if he has an attorney for the DWI charge. Once again, I think they need to put these DWI checkpoints outside police headquarters on the weekends, maybe. Because it seems like there's an awful lot of cops out here in New Jersey drunk driving. I happen to know one personally. He's retired now in his defense. He's not an officer anymore. And he got snagged. And he lost his license for a little while. And yeah, it's fortunately it was at night and he didn't hit anybody. We had that one over there in Long Branch who was drunk and hit that lady and killed her on Ocean Avenue, smashed his car all up, and he had the nerve to tell her that was her fault. You law enforcement out there, you got to start cracking down on yourselves and start tightening the noose around here as far as what the officers can do and what they can't do. You know, it's out of control. There was a story back a couple years ago over in Red Bank. We had a lieutenant, I think he is. I forget. I did a story on the Guns and Undercover channel when it was up and running. And he was drunk and ran his car into a dumpster, I think it was. And he did get charged for drunk driving, and but he still got his job. He's still collecting his 6 figures. Yeah, that's good. So probably what'll happen to this guy, he'll be convicted of the DWI, and maybe they'll put him on probation or something. I don't know. I mean, how do you drive a police car? I mean, if I got caught drunk driving, my insurance rates would go through the ceiling. So is the town's insurance rates going to go through the ceiling, or are they self-insured over there? You know, this is the legal issue here, because he gets drunk and now he's a high-risk driver because he's a drunk. Yeah, I mean, what is it with these cops and the drinking and the driving? I don't get it. All right, I'll put the link to the story in the description box. You can go look at it. You can research it yourself, read more stories on it. Let me know what you think about these very thirsty police out there driving around, getting drunk. You know, just one more. I had that Sergeant Cutts there who drove his car 70 miles an hour into a dump truck and sent somebody to a hospital via a helicopter. That man should be fired from his job. He should lose his pension and he should go to jail. But it'll never happen. This is Gunnison Undercover.